Hello and welcome to our coverage of the 2024 Beijing International Auto Show. In this video, we are going to show you all of the most exciting debuts from both Chinese and international brands. Let's check out what is undoubtedly one of the coolest concept cars at the entire Beijing Auto Show, the MG EXE 181, a car so low that I have to get down on my knees here in order to be able to get it into the frame. This thing has a quad-motor EV powertrain that can get it to 100 kilometers per hour or 62 miles per hour in 1.9 seconds, according to MG. Thanks to its incredibly sleek shape, it also has a drag coefficient of just 0.181. The name EXE181 is inspired by the EX181 from 1959, a similarly sleek Lotus that was able to achieve 410 kilometers per hour or 255 miles per hour, again, in 1959. It was powered by a 1.5-liter supercharged four-cylinder. We don't know whether they're going to go for another land speed record, but at least we know what their benchmark will be. It's no secret that international brands have struggled to create competitive EV and hybrid products here in the Chinese market, and so these days they're turning to their local Chinese joint venture partners. In this case, Mazda is joining up with Chang'an and using their Deepal SL03 sedan platform to create this, the Mazda EZ6 sedan. What you see behind me are two examples. Just like the SL03, this is going to come in a pure EV and an extended EV powertrain. You can tell the difference because this one is the EV version with a completely closed-off front grille, whereas the one over there has an open grille, obviously to allow air to go to the 1.5-liter turbocharged four-cylinder, if I recall correctly. This car's roots in the SL03 are very apparent, not just in the powertrains, the 1.5-liter naturally aspirated four-cylinder, by the way, not a turbo, but also the exterior design. The overall shape of the vehicle is very, very reminiscent of the SL03, including the profile here on the front end with the shape of the nose and even on the tail. Behind me is the all-new Audi Q6L e-tron, a China market-exclusive electric SUV from the joint venture between FAW and Audi. This thing, instead of being like the Audi Q5 e-tron that rides on the ID6 platform, the ID platform, this rides in the premium platform electric architecture that underpins brands like Porsche. FAW Audi says that this Q6L has been adjusted specifically for the Chinese market. The first big hint is the fact that it has an extended wheelbase. You can notice that in the length of the rear doors back there. This thing's styling is very reminiscent of that of the Q6, which is an internal combustion engine vehicle that's only available here in China. For Chinese consumers that value performance over space, they can choose the SQ6 e-tron, which is going to have much more power than the standard Q6L e-tron. I'm told around 517 horsepower. Here at Beijing, we were also able to check out the all-new Mini Aceman, which will fit between the Mini Cooper and the Mini Countryman in the Mini lineup. Mini refers to this as a small SUV, and I guess if putting body cladding on a little hatchback makes it an SUV, then this is indeed an SUV. It measures just over 4 meters in length and it will come with two different EV powertrains, both of which are front-mounted single motors, but one offers 135 kilowatts and the other offers 160. That's around 180 or 215 horsepower. We don't know anything about this car's battery capacity or range at this point, but we have been able to step inside and check out the production interior. It's remarkably similar to that of the other Mini electric vehicles. It includes a ton of really, really cool design elements. I think Mini's been hitting it out of the park when it comes to their interior design as of late. Check out this awesome cloth up here on the dashboard, as well as the digital center screen here in that classic Mini circular shape. I also quite like this kind of traditional, I don't know how to put it, a heads-up display where instead of reflecting it onto the glass of the front windshield, it reflects onto this small piece right here. Overall, the interior, very, very nice. Let's check out what is undoubtedly one of the absolutely most fascinating vehicles at this entire auto show, and that is the Chang'an Qiyuan E07, a combination SUV pickup truck EV, the likes of which I promise you have never seen before. This thing has earned the nickname of Chinese Cybertruck, and the similarities are undeniable, especially in the overall shape. But check out this front end and this awesome LED grid up here that can display a bunch of different images. This is an auto show debut, so there's a lot we don't know about this vehicle as of yet. It's supposed to hit the market at the end of September, at which point we'll learn things like battery capacity and range. What we do know is it's going to have single and dual motor EV powertrains with 252 or 440 kilowatts. That's around 340 to 600 horsepower. Let's get down to what really matters, however, and that's the incredible rear design on this vehicle. It can convert from an SUV to a truck. Now, we've seen relatively similar things like the Chevy Avalanche and even the Tesla Cyberster, which does have a sliding bed cover. This one also has a sliding bed cover, but it's glass. Let me just hit the button right now, which is going to close everything completely. The entire roof slides all the way down, and once it gets to this point, a piece of glass is going to rise out of here to close it off. Now let's see what it looks like when it's turned into a pickup truck. If I hold this button for 3 seconds, it's going to open everything all at the same time. Just like that. If we look inside, when the second row is laid down, you have an over 2-meter space where you can easily lay out. Camping, anybody? You're probably wondering, if this thing is going to be a pickup truck, what kind of bed does it have? It has a hard plastic style bed liner like this, but underneath that is also a little bit of extra storage. Inside the A07 is your classic Chinese EV interior, which means minimalist design everywhere. The steering wheel, for example, is a super simple 2-spoke with just 2 scroll wheels on either side. Oh, sorry, I turned on the radio. Moving on, there's a center screen that reminds me quite a bit of the one we saw in the Chuan A07 sedan that we reviewed. It's about 15 inches, more than 15 inches in width, and it can turn from left to right via the menu here. You've also got something that we also saw on the Shenlan S7 SUV. So many sevens. It's got a passenger screen that will fold down from right there. This seat, if it's anything like the S7, will also go into a zero gravity mode, where it will lean back and allow you to enjoy that screen. MPVs are big business here in China, but they usually come in an at least recognizable shape. That's not the case with this, the Zeekr Mix, an all-new electric MPV measuring 4.7 meters in length from the Chinese brand Zeekr. It offers some serious innovation in the form of these 2 sliding doors here on the passenger side of the vehicle. That's the front and rear doors that open like this. On the driver's side, it's only the rear door that slides open. The driver's side door opens kind of normally. Inside are 2 rows, but both rows slide back and forth on tracks. That includes the center console, by the way. Not only that, but the front row can be turned fully around so that front passengers can face the rear passengers when the car is parked, obviously. Underneath is Zeekr's electric car platform, which includes a single rear-mounted electric motor making 310 kilowatts, or around 400 horsepower. It will come with 2 choices of ternary lithium batteries, but the specific capacity of those batteries has yet to be released. We talked a little bit about the L series from Hongqi, those cars that are pretty much unattainable by your average citizens, but let's talk a bit about something that you can actually buy. Kind of. This is the Hongqi EH7, which is normally a Hongqi sedan with electric powertrains, single and dual motors, ranges between 600 and 700 plus kilometers, and power levels up to 620 horsepower. This, however, is not a normal Hongqi EH7 sedan. Instead, it's the convertible version. They've converted it into a 2-door vehicle with a soft top. I say that it's attainable, sort of, because while you can buy an EH7 sedan here in China, this is merely a concept vehicle. This will not go into production. I didn't think the M Hero brand could get any more ridiculous. Then I saw the M Hunter. This is a ridiculous, doorless, off-road, buggy, post-apocalyptic version of the M Hero 917 that is going to apparently go into production in some form. We don't know much about it. Again, we're at an auto show. They never tell you anything. But if it's anything like the M Hero, it's going to have a extended range and pure EV version. And the pure EV version will have around 1,000 horsepower. Beside me is the all-new C16, the latest model from Leap Motor. Many of you will know Leap Motor as the Chinese brand that was invested in by Stellantis Group and will be selling their cars in the European market in the future. This is their newest model, the C16, which is a large SUV with a rear passenger screen. It's also got EREV and pure EV powertrains, and they say it is going to be sold for less than $27,600 or 200,000 RMB. We've already checked out the exterior design of this, the C-Line 07, when we came to Shenzhen earlier this year, but this is the first time we're going to be able to check out the interior. First, let's readdress this exterior design. This thing's obviously heavily inspired by the sedan version on the same platform called the BYD Seal. It's got this BYD ocean-style front end. It's also got that beautiful coupe-style roofline. If this looks familiar, that's because it's essentially the BYD's other version of their, what's it called, Song L. That's right, BYD Song L, as well as the Denza N7. Like the BYD Seal that rides on this same platform, this is going to have a variety of powertrains, including 2 single-motor variants and a dual-motor. Those are going to make 170, 230, and 390 kilowatts, respectively. When the BYD Seal came out, they told us it was going to be EV only, but they did release the Seal DMI, so expect them to play the same game when it comes to the C-Line 07. Expect PHEV variants in the future. Remember what I said about the Qin L and the fact that its interior styling is that of the Dynasty series, which is a little bit more conservative? Well, this is the first time I've been able to sit inside of this C-Line 07, and I have to say it's an interesting combination of the Dynasty conservatism with the flair of the Ocean series. The flair is pretty obvious. Check out the wave shape of this door. This is the door handle right here. It's a very cool design, but over here on the dashboard, relatively simple, relatively flat look, but still some touches of detail. Here on the dashboard, you have these interesting embedded lights which light up like this, kind of a wave or maybe speckles. I remember on the Seal, they said that these were supposed to look like the scales of a fish or maybe water droplets. The rear seats back here actually have some surprisingly luxurious features. For example, they are cooled and heated. I'm assuming that's only going to be available on top-spec cars. Space-wise, this is the same wheelbase as the Song L, so you've got a pretty decent amount of legroom, as you can see. Headroom, not particularly impressive for something that's supposed to be an SUV. That's going to be a result of that sweeping roofline. As a final treat before we head on to look at the other BYD brands at the show, let's talk about this BYD concept car behind me. This is called the Ocean M. It is in all appearances a larger than the BYD Dolphin hatchback. Call it a Renault Megane RS size. Not only does it have Renault Megane RS size, it's also got some hot hatch vibes. Check out that gigantic wing on the back. Now this is obviously a concept car. Check out the concept car, things like the carbon fiber lip down here, these fake headlights, and those digital rearview mirrors. But we are told that this, or a version of this, is going to go into production in Q3 of this year. So I suggest that you like, subscribe, and hit the bell because Wheels Boy is probably going to be one of the first people to actually drive it. Fangcheng BYD's premium off-road brand, has brought 3 new vehicles to the show. The Super 3, the Bao 8, and the Super 9. Let's go check them out. So far, the Super 3 is only a concept. Super, in the language of Fangcheng Bao, means concept. We do know that this thing is going to come in under the Bao 5, which is currently the only Fangcheng Bao vehicle that's on sale. Its starting price is $40,000, so this will certainly undercut it by quite a bit. We also know that unlike the Bao 5, which uses a PHEV powertrain, this will be pure electric. Sitting above the Bao 5 in the Fangcheng Bao lineup will be this, the Bao 8, which was recently revealed in its production form. This thing adopts the same body-on-frame platform and cell-to-chassis technology of the Bao 5, but it's said to use a more powerful PHEV powertrain. The Bao 5 already makes 505 kilowatts, or over 650 horsepower, so who knows what that thing is going to make. Fangcheng Bao is a premium off-road brand, or at least that's what I thought it was, until they debuted this, the Super 9. Little is known about the Super 9 at this point other than the fact that it's incredibly beautiful and it uses an EV powertrain. Maybe it uses the 4-motor E4 powertrain from the Yangwang U9 supercar. That makes 960 kilowatts, or around 1,300 horsepower, but only time will tell. No word on when this car is going to reach production, but considering the fact that when it debuted a week or so ago at a Fangcheng Bao press event, it had the number 30 written on the side. next year is BYD's 30th anniversary, so if I was a betting man, I would say we're going to be seeing a production version of this in 2025. Let's finish up our tour of BYD brands by talking about the best of the best when it comes to BYD's Yangwang. Here they have debuted their new Yangwang U7 sedan. This will be the flagship sedan for the flagship brand for BYD. Underneath will be the E4 powertrain. Now, there's been two E4s, right? There was the U8 E4, which was a PHEV, an extended range EV to be specific, which had over 800 kilowatts or 1,200 horsepower. And then there was the E4 Pure Electric, which is underneath the U9. This apparently is using that powertrain, which means 960 kilowatts or 1,300 horsepower. Apart from that, big surprise, we don't know very much about this car. We know it measures 5.265 meters in length, so it is definitely flagship sedan sized. Exhibit 1 of the fact that Hongqi always brings the coolest cars, check out the new Hongqi L1. It's 5.3 meters in length with a wheelbase of 3.26 meters. Both of those are longer than a long wheelbase Mercedes S-Class. Hongqi is known for their very flamboyant exterior design, and obviously the L1 is no different. Check out the size of this grille and the way that it juts forward from the headlights, a little bit of a Bentley Mulsanne look. Hongqi is known for creating cars that look a little bit like cars from certain parts of the UK. This one does have its own distinct design elements, however. Check out this pattern over here on the lower fascia. This is reminiscent of the petals of a sunflower. Now, the Hongqi L1 and the L5 and the LS7 and all those other ones are part of the Sunflower series from Hongqi. That's their highest-end vehicles. You can get your Hongqi L1 with your choice of two different power plants, either a 3-liter turbocharged V6 making 290 kilowatts or about 375 horsepower, or a turbocharged V8 that's 4 liters making 360 kilowatts or about 475 horsepower. Note that I said hybrid, not plug-in hybrid. These are mild hybrids that don't have any kind of pure electric range, though we do know that they're going to have an NCM battery, which should be quite small. Let's close the electrically operated doors and have a look at the first row of the Hongqi L1. First of all, this is an incredible steering wheel. Look at this chrome piece down here, like a classic car from the 50s. That's real metal for sure. Here on the center console, you've got this beautiful wood trim, kind of a very old school look to the entirety of the interior. Center screen here, pretty modest by luxury car standards, or really pretty modest by Chinese car standards. The thing is, though, the more luxurious the car gets, I find the smaller the screens get and the more physical buttons that you see. The physical buttons in here, this beautiful row of buttons underneath the screen, as well as ones here to either side of your wireless charging pad. On the doors, more of that beautiful wood trim, and the seats, obviously, highly adjustable with heating, cooling, and massage. Now we come to the truly luxurious part of this vehicle, the second row. As you can see, legroom is absolutely incredible, even with the seat pushed as far back as it is. Materials in here, amazing. This wood here, which looks to be real wood that's been lacquered. You've also got real metal trim pieces and an incredible design over here on the door that looks like traditional paintings of Chinese mountains. Also, look at the way that light is embedded inside of it. All of it feels very solid, very nice to touch. The seats, of course, heated, cooled, and massaging, and they have adjustability for rake as well as forward and backwards. Check this out. What does that look like? Zero gravity mode. Oh, that's comfortable. We're about to go check out the L5, but before I do that, I want to show you one detail that I noticed about the L1. These are electrically operated doors. We've seen them before on Chinese cars, but watch how easy it is to close. If I just take my hand and rest it right there, boom. I'm trying hard to hide my excitement here, but I'm finally, after over a year of waiting, going to be able to check out the Hongqi L5. The L series is Hongqi's highest level series, and the L5 is their highest level car at this point. This vehicle is incredibly hard even to have the chance to buy. You can't just walk into a Hongqi dealership and put down the $1 million+ in order to get one of the things. You have to be selected. Under the hood is a 4-liter turbocharged V8 making about, 285 kilowatts, around 375 horsepower. This thing measures 5.98 meters in length. It is absolutely gargantuan. So as you can imagine, it's probably not the fastest vehicle on the road with just that amount of power under the hood. The rear end is a very retro styling with these very cool chrome inserts all along the back end. But let's see what the trunk of a Hongqi L5 looks like. It looks pretty darn big. What's under here? Wow, full-size spare. Again, you'd expect that. It's $1 million. Remember when I told you in the L1, the more luxurious the car gets, the less focused on screens it becomes? Check this out. All of these physical buttons for your air conditioning, your seats, your media, it's all physical buttons, and they have some pretty awesome touches of Chinese culture here on the trim level, which you can also find over here on the door. The trim, not the trim level, sorry. Over here on the door. It's kind of an awesome touch. The color combination, hey, listen, if you were the Joker, this would be the L5 that you would drive, obviously. This is my favorite part, though. This incredible green trim. It just looks almost like jade. It's really, really phenomenal, and it feels pretty nice to the touch, as does everything. But again, for $1 million car, you would expect that to be the case. I'm in the back seat of the L5, everybody, and boy, is it exactly what I was hoping it would be. Look how much legroom I have. I feel like I could play a game of football back here. Headroom, too. Absolutely amazing, as you'd expect for a car that's this magnificently huge. Center console. Remember when I said, again, to reiterate, less screens, more buttons. Check out all these physical buttons for your air conditioning, as well as your heated and cooled seats here for the second row. Oh my gosh. One interesting thing that I'm noticing, however, it seems like this car doesn't... Oh, I was wrong. It does have massaging rear seats as well. Material quality, really quite amazing. And I just can't talk enough about this really cool green color here that's all over the interior. Maybe this isn't your particular taste when it comes to color combinations, but it's eye-catching, isn't it? Like any super high-end luxury vehicle, the L5 comes with an incredible level of customization. You saw the interior of that car over there, but check out this one. This can be optioned on your L5. This amazing multicolor hood and roof. Does it match with the styling? No. Does that keep me from loving it? Also no. As a final treat, we are now going to check out the Sunflower concept from Hongqi. This incredible 6-meter, 2-door coupe represents the highest level of what Hongqi can do. Their most luxurious, their most expensive, their most elite package. Not just anyone can go out and purchase a car from Hongqi's Sunflower series, even if they have the money to do so. Applicants are screened by Hongqi, and since the Golden Sunflower concept is said to represent the best of the best when it comes to Hongqi, one can only imagine how hard it would be to get your hands on one if it ever went into production. The Golden Sunflower concept oozes drama from every angle. The designers behind the car told us that the huge scissor doors are supposed to look like the wings of a bird unfolding, a motif that carries over to the interiors of other Hongqi models. The massive and complex design of the wheels, just like the front fascia of the L1, are inspired by the petals of a sunflower. According to Haman Ezati, design manager for Hongqi, the philosophy behind the interior of the Golden Sunflower is heaven and earth. Earth is represented by the front row, with the flowing dash resembling the orbit of the planet itself. The steering wheel collapses into that dashboard, not only to hint at a driverless future, but to allow more space when the front seat is turned around to face the rear. After all, Ezati told us, the Golden Sunflower concept is made for the elite of the elite, and they have some important meetings. Heaven is embodied by the second row, where the seats can go into a zero-gravity mode by sinking into the rear bulkhead. This ensures the passenger has maximum comfort when viewing whatever content is projected on the overhead glass. If that's not enough, you can take advantage of the champagne bottle that will rotate out of the center console. The styling is incredible from every single angle, with the most exaggerated and amazing design cues you can think of. Just look at the swoop of that rear end. Look at the length of that door. Again, this is a 6-meter vehicle that's only got 2 doors.